She's going to vote for it. She will vote for it with the changes she's supposed to.
Welcome to the Lincoln City Council Directors Organizational Meeting for Monday, August 17th, 2020. As always, posted in the back in the northwest corner of the room is a copy of the Opens Meeting Act. Let's move on with adjustments to the agenda. City Clerk.
Thank you. On today's agenda for Monday, August 17, 2020, I will be calling on the consent agenda items 2A through 2F together. Section 5 for public hearing resolutions. On item 5A, I have two motions. One motion to amend number 1 and a number 2, which I provided copies of. Moving forward on section 6, item 6A, I have a motion to move to pending with no date certain. Item 7A will have a suspension of the rules. And I was just notified on section 9, items 9A, 9B, and 9C could also be moved, motion to move to pending list as well. That's all I have for the agenda.
Okay. Any questions?
And I believe Councilwoman Ward is going to move that item 9G, the change of the rules of the council on signs will be delayed. The
Correct.
vote.
Correct, thank you.
Is it delayed with a date certain?
August 31st.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sony.
Any other changes? Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mayor's office.
Good afternoon, Council. Jennifer Brinkman, Chief of Staff to the Mayor. Just a couple of items wanted to lift up for you. Speaking with the Planning Director this morning, he reiterated that Lincoln is still #1 in the nation for response related to the Census 2020 in terms of cities 250,000 to 1 million in size. We have a 75.1% response rate, and we're really excited about that. But we'll continue to lift up to all of our residents that they should continue if they have not yet responded to the census and why that's so important to our community. Nebraska is #4 in the nation with a 69.2% response rate, and Lancaster County is #29. There are census workers out in the field going door to door. That started last week on August 11th and will end on September 30th. I wanted to also remind you that the comp plan work for Plan 2050 is still underway, and the virtual event where we're asking for community input continues on our website, and that's open for comment until August 31st. And I would also lift up for a little bit of fun, David Carey is hosting what he's calling the late afternoon show. You can find the latest edition on the Comp Plan website, and the featured guest this month is Lynn Johnson, so talking about parks and its importance to our community. I think on your agenda is a note about the proposed text amendment related to what we're now calling transitional housing. There's a public meeting scheduled for August 25th, and then introduction and a hearing at Planning Commission on September 30th. With that, I'd answer any questions and then invite Lynn Johnson to come up and discuss one item with you. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Lynn?
Good afternoon, Lynn Johnson with Lincoln Parks and Recreation. I think that this may have been addressed, but I think at the last council meeting, the council voted to place the sale of the land on South 48th Street, along South 48th Street, on pending for 1 week. I had some additional discussions, and it was mentioned this may be asked to be placed on pending for one additional week to allow some additional conversation, I think, about value of the land at this point. So I'd be happy to
Okay.
answer any questions.
Yes, Council.
Good afternoon, Lynn. I just had one other question on this one that I never asked. Was any federal dollars used to purchase those lands?
There was not federal money used in acquisition of this. It was associated with subdivision of the surrounding land. It was an outlot created
Okay.
through that subdivision process, is my understanding, and then it got transferred, the ownership got transferred to the city. So there's no federal land and water conservation money in this, nor was there federal money used in acquisition of it.
Okay, thank you.
And I should have noted that you may have seen in the packet, we did negotiate and we did add a provision about development of the site that included some design standards regarding management of stormwater
Yeah.
and also some screening, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. She announced that the planning department's doing the transitional living facilities, public open house. And then we can go into boards and committees. Board of Health, Councilperson Bowers.
Yes, so we met on Tuesday the 4th. Two things that we did is we took a vote as a board to support the directed health measures as the advisory board. And then we also voted on supporting a development for a community vaccine planning committee to help look at how we can do that best for our community. We received an update about what the dials indicators are, and got into some updates about COVID funding updates. And that's pretty much what we talked about.
Okay. Moving on to the Public Building Commission, if you want me to start, or Jane, would you want to?
Oh, go ahead.
It was a great meeting because it was my last meeting as chair. And we found a new chair in Roma Munson will be our new chair moving forward. We closed out the assessor treasurer's remodel. That's been done. If you ever get a chance, it's kind of a nice now open space. You can go ahead and walk back through there. Looks a lot more inviting, I think, for the employees to work in that environment there. And we're continuing to work on the entrance into the Hall of Justice. And what do we think, about halfway? Over halfway. We're down to our last quarter down there, right?
It'll, I think, substantially complete by the end of this month.
Mm-hmm. We passed revenue neutral budget, came forward. And so there will be a few projects going forward, but nothing spectacular at this point. Anything else, Jane?
You got it covered.
Okay. Councilperson Christensen.
Well, I was unable to attend the meeting,
Okay.
so I have nothing to report.
Okay. And going forward, our constituents' responses that we got for the week. And then in the meantime, go ahead.
Okay, I have been asked by the chair to call for an executive session that is necessary to protect the public interest because we will be discussing a real estate sale. So I move that we go into executive session at this time.
Second?
Okay, it is also going to include collective bargaining.
Right, oh, collective bargaining too. Okay.
Yes.
And
You
typically in
second.
the county board, we also say any personnel matter too.
Any person.
Right.
Okay.
But today it's collective bargaining and a real estate sale. So,
Yes,
To vote
so
on it.
we are just doing that, and then we got to come back into the director's meeting and adjourn. So this is just a move to go into this session.
So just a few moments.